Complete Pet for Spanish Speakers. Student's Book by Emma Haderman and Peter May with Camilla Mayhew. Published by Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyright. CD 1. Unit 1. Starting off, Exercise 2.
Hi, my name's Julia Davies, and this is my room. I spend most of my evenings there and part of the weekend, though I'm out quite a lot then. It's not a particularly big room, but I've got all my favourite things there. There's my computer, which I use mainly for emailing, online chat, and looking around on the internet. And my mobile. I love texting people. I do my homework there too, as you can see from the pile of textbooks. They should really be on the bookshelf, but there just isn't any space there. I read a lot, actually. That's why there are so many books and magazines. Also, I play the guitar a bit. And though I'm not very good yet, my mum says I'm starting to get better. Then there's the DVD player. I don't often use that, but when I have someone round, we sometimes watch a film or two.
Unit 1. Listening, Part 4. Exercise 3.
When you're travelling abroad, Zoe, do you find that people do things at different times of the day?
Well, I guess the first thing you notice is how early people have dinner here in the UK. Maybe at 6 o'clock, and often in the USA and Canada too. But in Spain or South America, for instance, they don't usually have their main meal until late in the evening, and they often go out after that. By then, in a town like this, everything's closing, isn't it?
Well, I don't think that's always true. Some places stay open very late these days, particularly in the town centre.
But how do you get home here? The buses and trains all stop running around 11:30.
There are usually taxis around after that. There always seem to be people getting into them or waiting for them.
Well, even if you can get one, they cost far too much, in my opinion, anyway.
You're right about that. That's why I never take them. But I suppose you could walk home.
All the way from the town centre? You must be joking. And that's another thing. At night, in places like Italy or Greece or the Middle East, there are always lots of people around. Families, I mean. So you don't worry about anything bad happening there. But when I'm here in your town, there are times when I feel, well, not as safe. I know it seems silly, but it's true.
You may be right that older people go to bed early most nights, but doesn't that make it more fun when you're out? Everyone you see is young.
That's true.
So do people in the south of Europe get up later the next morning?
Well, school starts just as early as in the north of Europe, so I don't think they stay in bed any later. And the school day is normally about the same as here.
And when there's no school?
They have lunch later, perhaps at 2 or 3. A proper meal, that is, not just a sandwich. After that, people sometimes have a quick sleep.
I think that's sensible, if it's just for a few minutes. I'd like to do that every day.
It's certainly a good idea when it's hot. Maybe the different routines in different parts of the world are because of the weather there.
That's possible, yes.
Unit 1. Speaking, Part 1. Exercise 6. 1,
Friend.
2,
Believe.
3.
Pie.
Unit 1. Speaking, Part 1. Exercise 8.
Country. Young. Touch. Ooh. You. Root. O. Coast. No. Coat. Road. Ow. Town. Crowd. Found. Mountain. Now.
Unit 1. Speaking, Part 1. Exercise 11.
Maria, where do you come from?
I'm from Vari. It's a small town in Greece near Athens.
And do you work or are you a student?
I'm a student at a secondary school in the town.
What subjects do you study?
All the usual ones like maths and history, but this month we're studying modern music too. It's really interesting.
Ah. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Well, I like listening to music at home in my room, and I sometimes go out with friends in the evenings or at weekends.
Unit 2. Starting off. Exercise 2.
1. Two. 3.
Kelly Ashby,
Yes, Miss Truman.
Max Atkinson,
Yes, Miss Truman.
Gemma Brown,
Yes, Miss Truman.
4.
I'm so tired now. I just didn't sleep.
5.
Bye, Mum.
Bye.
Unit 2. Grammar. Exercise 2.
Today we have Nadine with us to talk about the 6 months she spent in Chile. Hello, Nadine.
Hi.
You're a normal 16-year-old school student. Where did you go last year?
Last year, I lived in Chile for 6 months as an exchange student. I lived with a Chilean family. I went to school every day, and I had to wear a uniform. In Canada, I don't have to wear a uniform. It's so uncool.
Where did you stay?
I stayed in San Pedro de Atacama, high in the Atacama Desert. Unlike Toronto, there's no disco, no shopping centre, no large cinemas with choice of films.
How did you feel when you first arrived?
To tell you the truth, I was scared. San Pedro is so different from my hometown.
Did you speak Spanish before you went?
Yes, I did. I studied Spanish at school in Canada, and I thought I was good at it. But when I got to Chile, I couldn't say anything. It was awful.
What about school? What subjects did you study?
I did maths, chemistry, biology, physics, history, Spanish, and art.
Was it a good experience?
Yes, it was. I'm really glad I went there. My Spanish improved, and I even began to dream in Spanish. I also stopped missing expensive activities like going to the cinema or the disco, and began to realize that fun in San Pedro was being with my new family and friends.
Thank you, Nadine. And if you'd like to know more about being an exchange student, contact our hotline number on 0800 444.
Unit 2. Grammar. Exercise 2.
It was in my second week. The sun was shining, and I was feeling good. I was walking to school when I saw a group of dogs. I was frightened, but I didn't know what to do.
Unit 2. Grammar. Exercise 3.
Suddenly, a woman appeared from nowhere, and she started screaming at the dogs. The dogs ran off. I said, "Gracias," and went to school.
Unit 2. Grammar. Exercise 7.
This morning, I woke up early to visit Ryokuku High School. I looked out of the window. It was raining. I had a quick breakfast and we got ready to go. We drove to school. At the school, we changed our shoes for slippers. As I was putting on my slippers, my Japanese friend started looking at my feet. The slippers were too small.
Unit 2. Listening. Part 1, Exercise 3.
1. What time does John have to leave school today?
Woodland High School. Mrs. Drew speaking.
Yes, this is John Fuller's mother. He's got another doctor's appointment today at 2:15. Last week I picked him up at 2:10, but we got there late. Can I get him 5 minutes earlier today, at 1:45?
2. What are the students going to do today at 11 a.m?
Now, there'll be some changes to your timetable today. After break, we're going to see a play performed by some Year 10 students. That should finish by 11:15. We'll do maths then. I know we normally do sport at 11, but we'll have to do that tomorrow instead.
3. What does Nathan have to buy?
I've just joined the table tennis team, but I'm not sure I've got enough money to buy the equipment.
Don't worry. The balls are really cheap, and I can lend you my brother's bat. He never uses it. You'll have to get some good trainers, though.
I've already got some.
4. What will the weather be like tomorrow? Are you ready for your school trip tomorrow, Beth? You're going to those new outdoor swimming pools, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Lucky you didn't go today. It hasn't stopped raining.
That's what I'm worried about. Our teacher looked it up on the internet, and it says it'll be dry, but cloudy. Let's hope it's right.
Yeah, that's better than too much sun, I think.
Unit 2. Speaking. Part 4. Exercise 2.
Do teenagers work in Colombia?
Yes, they do. Teenagers in my country work to earn extra spending money. What about in Vietnam?
Well, I don't work, and actually very few teenagers in Vietnam work. In my country, most parents don't allow their children to have a part-time job. We have to go to school and study hard. In my opinion, it's not a good idea for teenagers to work and study at the same time. What do you think?
I'm not so sure. I agree that teenagers need enough time to study and do their homework. If they work too many hours, their marks will go down. However, working part-time can be a good experience. Don't you think so?
Maybe. For some teenagers, working could be a way to learn about money and society. However, we have to think about the future. I think that studying is the most important thing. Do you agree?
Yes and no. As I said before, I think having a part-time job can be a good experience. However, we need more rules. For example, teens shouldn't work more than 15 hours a week and only 2 or 3 days a week, like at the weekend. I think they can work more hours during the school holidays.
Have you got a part-time job?
Yeah. I sometimes work in my father's office. I have to deliver letters and documents around the building. I earn a little bit of extra money.
Really? That sounds interesting. What do your teachers say?
Teachers complain that students who work don't do their homework well, and they often do badly in tests. I think that students can work to earn some pocket money if they are good students.
Good point. I haven't got a job. I'm going to concentrate on my studies and look for a job when I'm older.
Unit 2. Speaking, Part 4. Exercise 7. 1.
Generous George imagines giant giraffes.
2.
Good girls give grapes to gorillas.
Unit 2. Speaking, Part 4. Exercise 9.
G. Big. Give. Geography. Girl. Agree. Get. Frog. Teenager. Gym. Apologize. Large. Imagine. Geography.
Unit 3. Listening, Part 2. Exercise 2.
Hi, I'm Spencer Watson, and I'm here to tell you about 4 unusual ways to have a great day out. First, how about going back in time with a steam train journey through the beautiful Scottish countryside? This is on the railway line made famous by the Harry Potter films. Starting at Fort William, near Britain's highest mountain, the train departs each morning at 10:20, getting into the lovely fishing village of Malig at 12:25. The return journey to Fort William starts at 14:10 and takes an hour and 50 minutes. The fares are good value for money, and it's a great experience for steam train fans of any age. It's very popular in summer, so it's best to book ahead. For a really exciting day out, Go Wild adventure courses offer hours of fun in 17 different locations. For a fairly small admission fee, you can climb tall trees, go from treetop to treetop on a high wire, cross waterfalls far below, go through tunnels, and lots more. Before you start, though, they give you full safety advice. To prevent accidents, they put a belt around your waist and the tops of your legs and attach it to wires. And then you're off, completely on your own. To take part, you have to be fit, over 9 years old, and at least 1.40 meters tall. Opening hours are usually 9:30 to 3:30. If the adventure course isn't really your thing, but you like seeing really big wildlife, you can't do much better than dolphin and whale watching in Wales. Voyages of Discovery organises regular trips out to sea, passing small islands with their enormous seabird populations, and then on to even deeper waters. And there, very occasionally, you will see whales, while on almost all the trips dolphins will appear. You may also see huge sharks, although they are quite rare these days. The voyage isn't cheap, but most people who've done it agree that it's well worth the money. If instead you'd like to be up in the sky, try a balloon flight from any of the hundreds of sites across the country. It usually begins early in the morning when you meet the pilot, crew, and other passengers, and the huge balloon slowly fills with hot air. It rises gently, and then you go whichever way the wind is blowing. The actual flying time is about an hour, and although I think it could last a bit longer, it's certainly a wonderful experience. It's also possible to book a flight just for 2, for any time of the year.
Unit 3. Vocabulary. Exercise 5.
Hi, Ava. Are you and Megan going away on holiday soon?
Yes, on Saturday. We want to set off very early in the morning.
Are you going to the coast?
No, we went off beach holidays last summer. There were too many people. We've decided to take up skiing instead. We're off to the Alps.
Do you know how to ski?
Not really. That's why I'm going to put my name down for lessons.
I tried it once, but I found it really difficult. After 3 days, I gave up and went home.
Well, the lessons go on until late in the evening every day, so I should improve quickly. Megan's a good skier, and I've got a lot to learn, but I'm sure I can catch up with her. I'm really looking forward to trying anyway.
Yes, I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 1.
There's never anything to do in this town, is there? Let's choose a hobby, an outdoor one, for the weekends and holidays.
OK then, how about going fishing? We could go to the river in the valley over there, or even down to the lakes.
Well, I think I'd prefer to do something a bit more exciting. And anyway, I'd feel sorry for the poor fish. Perhaps we could try a water sport. Something like canoeing or water skiing, maybe.
Yes, but we can't afford to hire a boat. I think we should do something cheaper, or better still, free.
All right. Why don't we go rock climbing? That's free, and it can be exciting too.
I think it'd be better to do something less dangerous.
OK, let me see. I know. What about mountain biking? It's outdoor, quite safe, fairly cheap.
Yes, we could hire a couple of bikes and see if we like it. So, shall we do that then?
I think it would be great. We could ride through the hills and into the forest. So, yes, let's go for that one.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 4.
OK then, how about going fishing?
Perhaps we could try a water sport. All right, why don't we go rock climbing? Yes, let's go for that one.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 5.
Well, I think I'd prefer to do something a bit more exciting.
I think we should do something cheaper. I think it'd be better to do something less dangerous.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 6. 1.
Would you like to go to the beach?
2.
No, I want to do different things.
3.
I don't want to go to any museums.
4.
What about going on a gondola?
5.
Do you want to stay for long?
6.
We have to book a hotel in advance.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 8. 1.
Fish.
2.
Child.
3.
Life.
4.
Give.
Unit 3. Speaking. Part 2. Exercise 10.
I. River. Since. Quick. Live. Windy. Ill. I. Climb. Kind. Dive. China. Tidy. Decide.
Unit 4. Starting off. Exercise 2.
Where did you go on holiday, Abby?
Well, last year we went to Zanzibar. It's an island, but it belongs to Tanzania in East Africa.
You always do exciting things, don't you? Which activities did you do in Zanzibar?
We stayed in Stone Town for a few days and went sightseeing.
Oh. What did you see there?
There were palaces and markets, and we visited the museums.
Do you like visiting museums?
It's okay, but I prefer going shopping.
Did you buy anything?
Oh, yes. You know, I love buying souvenirs. I bought some clothes and jewellery.
Which activity did you enjoy doing most?
In the second week, we stayed on the north coast and I went snorkelling for the first time. It was fantastic.
Are there any activities you'd still like to try?
Well, I've never been snowboarding. I'd love to try that. All my friends say it's the most exciting winter sport. Have you tried it?
Unit 4. Grammar. Exercise 6.
And here are the answers to this week's general knowledge quiz. Did you know that Asia is bigger than Africa?
Yes, and more people live in Asia than any other continent. Well, Russia is the largest country in the world.
And now for the animal facts. The most dangerous animal on the planet is not the lion or the shark, but the tiny mosquito, because it carries diseases. In the list of the top 10 most intelligent animals, there are dolphins, orangutans, some types of elephant and whales, but definitely no dogs. The African elephant is the largest and heaviest land animal, but the blue whale is the heaviest living creature. On average, it can weigh around 150 tons. That's 150,000 kilos. I wouldn't like to share my home with a howler monkey. They are the noisiest animals in the world. The slowest moving fish is the seahorse. It would take this fish about an hour to move 15 meters. The tallest dog in the world is the Great Dane, and the smallest is the Chihuahua. You've got some answers about places, haven't you, Alyssa?
Yes, I have. Did you know that Nagoya train station in Japan is the biggest in the world, and Shinjuku station in the same country is the busiest? If you like diving, then you should go to Belgium. Nemo 33 is the deepest pool in the world.
And the last two answers. Antarctica is the coldest, driest and windiest continent. And while we're talking about large places, the Amazon rainforest is larger than any other forest in the world.
Unit 4. Grammar. Exercise 4.
I come from Sweden. I live in a town about an hour away from the capital, Stockholm. There are only about 4,000 people. It's really tiny. It's a very nice place to live in because it never gets too crowded. There are several interesting sights, including a castle. Because it's a small town, it's extremely safe. Sometimes I find living here quite boring. I'd like to live somewhere with a more lively nightlife. There are no youth clubs or nightclubs, and we often have to spend the evening outdoors, even when it's